I mean, if you want to wait for Aaron, we can.
Yeah,
We are
I'll
live,
wait.
so we can wait for Aaron if you want to. You can vamp a little bit. We can do some pre-show topics if you want. If you have any little lighthearted topics or anything that you feel the fans in on.
Are the fans actually here? Is anybody here?
There's one person here
Who's here?
on YouTube.
Oh, okay. Hello, hello, one person there. Hey, Eva. Yeah, Aaron is running late because he's having computer issues. Has to do the restart and all that other stuff. So we are just waiting. Hey, Fred. How are you? How are you guys tonight? Hey, Alexa. Hi. Hopefully you're doing better this week than you were last week.
Here we go. Aaron's here.
Yes, hello.
Hello, hello.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I've been battling several variables.
Hey, Winona.
Not variants, but variables.
Variables, yes. It's been interesting. I was in a pickle, as you could say.
Or just don't worry about it. People are just coming in now. So hi, Allie. Hey, Lori. Hey,
Hey,
Chuck.
hey.
What's up? Hey, so Fred's sick, dude. Everyone's sick right now. I hope you feel better. Everyone is sick, and a lot of people to have something other than COVID, and a lot of people have COVID. So I hope everybody's sick is, getting better. Get better. Get better. Take your zinc and your vitamin D and your silver, and get enough sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So
absolutely.
Yeah. So,
well, first of all, 1 year.
Well, this is our pre-show, but yeah, the 1 year. 1 year ago, as of yesterday, we got this show. So,
I mean, this is a big one coming up. Bam!
Don't leave me hanging here.
Fist bump, bam! Fist bump. Crazy! It's been a year, right? Like I don't believe this. That was quick.
It was and it wasn't. I mean, I don't know how many shows we have, but I know they say most podcasts don't get it to 20 episodes.
Wow.
So considering there's 56 weeks in a year, and on a couple of them when we first started, we were double up. So we've definitely hit way more than 56 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
So we skipped a couple too, so probably evened out. I think we skipped 2, maybe 3 because of travel.
Oh yeah. But I mean, no, we've been at this a year. You know what I mean? How many shows or anything?
Yeah. Now, if you add up how many podcasts that you and I have done for other people, it probably comes to about, I don't know, 1,800.
I'd say. Yep.
Easily.
Absolutely. And I'm shutting my phone off right now because I think we're about ready to go live.
Oops, I didn't do it. I'll do it too. All right. Yeah, I actually didn't do it. Thanks for reminding me.
All right, anytime.
Touche. Mm-hmm. Hey, Keon. All right.
We're going to get this party started?
Let's start it.
Welcome to the most important podcast you are listening to right now. The A Show with April Hunter and Aaron Stevens.
Hello, and welcome to the A Show. And in case you didn't hear, we have been here 1 year. That's 1 year.
Woo! Where's my cake, man?
I don't.
Where's my cake?
I don't eat that anymore now. I'm back on the disciplined.
Good for you. Somebody super cool must have taught you all that shit.
Yep.
So hello to everybody. And Fred asked, so since you've been in business for a year, are you still happy with the tagline? I'm assuming you mean smart is the new sexy. Is that the tagline you're talking about? Are we still happy with that tagline? I like it.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
What about y'all? What do you guys think? This is just as much your show as it is ours.
Yeah.
What's up?
I was gonna say, if you guys come up with something better, we're all ears.
Yeah. Hell yeah. But always open to change and to evolve. So wow, like I said, it's funny because we've been doing this a year, and what a year it's been. there was never a shortage of stories and things going on. And man, we talked about everything. We
have.
Wow, yeah.
We have. And it doesn't seem like it's going to slow down anytime soon. What's interesting.
No, and I apologize for the cough.
Huh? That's okay. Like I said, like as Fred was saying, he's sick. Everybody's been sick. So, Angelo's sexy is the new smart, in my opinion.
Huh.
I actually really like that. I like that a lot.
Huh.
So, hey, Steven. Hey, Jamie. Where's the rum? Where's the rum? Rum your boat. Yeah, I was watching Neil Young embarrass himself by going after Joe Rogan today, by threatening to pull his music off of whatever medium those guys are on.
No.
If
Spotify,
they don't take,
I believe it was.
That's what it is. I don't watch either. I don't listen to Neil Young. I don't watch Joe Rogan. But Neil Young demanded that he would pull his music off if they didn't remove Rogan from Spotify. And I think that was probably a stupid thing to do. But somebody was pointing the fact that podcasts now, they said, are the future for information. Because the news, they're not covering a lot. And people have started to figure out that they're kind of bought and paid for by a lot of corporations. More and more are turning to podcasts for real information. So granted, there's a lot of bad information out there too, but could it be worse than the news we're getting sometimes?
No. And I mean, it's, worse than the news we're getting and worse than the news we're not getting.
Right. I mean, honestly, how could the worst podcast compare to that? So,
yeah.
So that's what they said. A lot of podcasts are doing better ratings than even like CNN. They're blowing them out of the water, and yeah, right. And they're the future of news, and I thought that was interesting. So on our 1-year anniversary, I don't think we are exactly in that genre, but we say happy anniversary to us.
Exactly. We've had moments. We had a Halloween show. We had a
Halloween.
Yep. We had that. We had the Festivus episode, which was, what a way to end the year. Right? What a crazy way to bring 2021 to an end.
And we're grateful to you guys. We have actually, I think, tripled our viewership since the new year. So, which is pretty darn cool. So thank you. Thank you.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So we got new stuff going on this week. So what we're going to cover today, if we can, in a short amount of time, at the end, we're going to, we've been talking about a topic, a sexual topic. So somebody brought something up last week, and it was, what do you do when your partner has a fetish that you are not into?
I can't wait to hear this one.
We're going to discuss that. And Lori points out we had the Ren Fair bathrobe show, the Ren Fair episode, the bathrobe show,
right.
cosplay shows.
You're right.
Oh, thank you for the corgos. When you guys, when you guys throw bits and you throw the corgi, that's my corgi. So thank you for throwing bits. Thank you for subscribing. We got our first paycheck, our first Twitch paycheck last week. It was $118 after everybody took their cut, but it was still $118.
Well, like a friend of mine used to say, and what I'm going to say, $118 is €118, and that's what. That it is what it is, and keep going.
You do, and you know what? And we appreciate every red cent of that $118. So thank you very much for it. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for throwing your bits and tipping us and doing everything that you're doing. We appreciate you, and it's been a fun community to get to know you guys. So 1 year getting to know you. So anyway, we're going to cover a fetish that you are not into and how you deal with that.
Wow.
We're going to talk about something that was not televised this week. Hair. And there was a Defeat the Mandates march that happened in D.C. I wanted to mention something I saw on Emily in Paris, which I thought was really interesting, and a really important life skill that nobody teaches. And if we have time, we'll also talk a little bit about
manners.
You want to talk about manners?
No, you said an important skill that nobody teaches. I said manners.
No, it's not actually manners. That's a given. Everybody should have some kind of courtesy.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about something that's happening for the first time in history. So, where do we go first? You choose.
Let's talk about the story that no one's talking about.
The march.
Excuse me. Yes. Yes.
Okay, so on Sunday, I believe it was close to 70,000 people. They went into Washington, D.C. to do, it was a hashtag Defeat the Mandates march. It was very peaceful. And at the end of the march, they had speakers and a lot of discussions going on. What was interesting is that I believe no mainstream media covered this at all. It was covered on other news stations, but nobody covered this on mainstream media at all. They're still not covering it, even though they cover like Black Lives Matter or pro-life marches. They cover everything else out there. This was not touched. Real American News did cover it. It's fascinating to me that people still don't see the flaming red flag when there are huge blackouts like that from the media, that they're still not understanding what's really going on here. I highly encourage, I highly encourage people to look up the speeches that happened that day. They were very, very interesting. People have been talking about them for days now. They were very hard hitting. They were very honest, and they were done by doctors. Robert Kennedy was one of the speakers. Dr. Peter McCullough was another. Dr. Robert Malone was another. There were several people there. The head of the Nation of Islam was there. It was a very interesting mix of people, and it was the speeches were phenomenal, and it should have been covered, and it wasn't. But the fact that so many showed up, and then the few people that did cover it on the internet, they twisted it around, and it was something along the headlines of crazy anti-vaxxers protest masks or something like that. So that's not what it was about. It was about never-ending injections being forced through work in order to be able to work. Yeah.
And because no issues, no arrest happened. Excellent point. This was done peacefully. It was done the way it should be, and it was not treated like other news stories that didn't fit a narrative, and that's a sad thing. It's a sad thing. And what was that you said?
Because she said because it was factual information, it was being talked about peacefully, and it was being presented. What was also interesting is that Washington, D.C. rushed to make a new law on January 15th, just a few days before the protest, where they pushed through requiring vaccine passports and papers to get into any place public. So anyone who wasn't vaccinated couldn't go into a public restroom. They couldn't get something to eat. They couldn't stay at a hotel. So I don't know, 1 + 1 = 2.
Yep.
It seems like there is definitely an agenda there, but some people still prefer to think there isn't. So that happened. And I think it's interesting that people have, some of the social medias have censored those like Robert Malone and McCullough and things like that. And it's actually backfired on them and made them more popular and given them credibility.
Absolutely.
So it makes me wonder are they going to be so quick to censor in the future when they realize that it's almost like giving them street cred.
Exactly. Because you know what? The one thing you can count on is that, especially as Americans, we will always be looking for the next cool thing to rebel against. This country, we were founded. It is in our collective DNA. We naturally rebel. And with the way, and I've always said this, like the world is, and where I am for political correctness to a degree, like in temperance. I mean, I don't want to say anything that's going to offend anybody. I like if you know the history of a word, or if you're going to say a certain joke or whatever that's going to make someone feel less than. But at the same time, I do think that we need to be able to look at ourselves, have an open conversation, and to be able to communicate and have that conversation, and it's just, again, we will always, like the younger people, and I got off track there for a second, I apologize, but the younger people will always find the new underground kind of, look at punk rock music. I mean, need I say more?
Well, I think, yeah, fair point there. Yeah.
No, it's true. Like, new systems of media, new platforms are popping up all the time. Hey, our parents think this is cool, so you know what we're going to do? We're going to go this way. Look, the hippies.
Yeah, but I think the fact that they want to pull people off, like, okay, so Rogan is right sometimes, he's wrong sometimes. But at the end of the day,
he's human all the time.
Huh?
And he's human all the time.
But what I'm saying is,
like all of us.
But that has nothing to do with on his podcast. He sits down and has conversations with people, whether they agree with him or not. He'll sit down and have a conversation where they can talk things out, and these conversations are not allowed these days. They're being censored. You're not allowed to have differing opinions, and people don't like that, to the point where they're actually wanting to cancel culture him. So that is pretty insane.
They're wanting to cancel culture Rogan?
Yeah, that's why I said Neil Young said he was going to pull his music on Spotify.
Yeah, but like, no. All right, look, and here's my point. Neil Young, I was going somewhere with this. I don't exactly think Neil Young has much clout anymore, okay? I mean, yes, he's still Neil Young, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but, dude, like, wake up.
What, a Southern man don't need him anyway?
Exactly. Skinner gave him an FU in Sweet Home Alabama.
I hope right? Neil Young remembers.
But seriously, like, if Neil Young is trying to ignite something against Joe Rogan, especially with the people that are on social media predominantly, the majority of them, I think, are going to go, who is this guy going after Joe Rogan?
Yeah.
My opinion, unless because again, kids now, people under the age of 30 do not know music.
Yes, I'm not getting into that discussion, but
no.
But anyway, so there's that. If you get a chance, look up it's called Defeat the Mandates March. Look up sorry, like I said, I'm not operating off all cylinders quite yet after pneumonia, but yeah, look up the speeches that were done there, and I think you'll be it's some really interesting information, and it's done by people who are shall we say, in the business or in the know, credible people, so which is helpful.
Very cool.
It's helpful. So an important life skill that no one teaches is don't fit in. So how many times have you ever been told don't fit in? And we're in a weird business. How many times have you been told that?
Oh, well, some of my previous places of employment, we would be lectured, don't fit in, but made to do things all the time, especially with certain trainers who I don't like. Not, of course, Dr. Tom. I love Dr. Tom Pritchard, but no, it was like telling us to do one thing where don't fit in, but then making us do it and literally not giving us a choice, or we'll be fired. Like it's a strange thing, but however, I do agree with you on that. Because if you cannot fit in, you can. You know what? I'm gonna take it a step further. I'm gonna say fit in your own way in terms of exist in society. And when I say society, this could be, I guess, like, so more like broken down to a social media world, a podcast world, whatever it is, entertainment, anything really, but exist in your own way. Like, don't let the outside circumstances get you. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say normalcy equals mediocrity, and if you fit in, you blend in, and if you blend in, you're easily replaced. So
then you better get in where you fit in.
Yeah, there's nothing unique about being part of the herd. So a lot of people don't realize that your weirdness is your superpower.
No, I get that. Yeah, and I guess I was probably thinking that a little more deep than I should have. Because no, like I'm thinking, like, in society and everything, like, yes, like you have to go against the grain, but in a good way. Like, don't think it's a good idea to go like running down the street with no clothes on in the middle of 5 o'clock traffic. Like, that's not okay. Like, that's not you being different. That's you being a naked idiot. You know what I mean? There's that kind of like not wanting to fit in, but like, look, if you go through a phase where you dye your hair black with the little purple thing in it, that's fine too. Okay. Because the funny thing about that is people that say they don't fit in, they all are trying to fit in with each other. It's a little subcategory of fitting in, and that's cool too.
But it's hard when you don't fit in. You live a lonely life sometimes.
Is when I look like a normal guy. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I look like a normal guy, and I had that red streak in my hair at one point. So that was my deal. Like I said, this is going to be me. Now, did it work out well? Absolutely not. I look like an idiot. I look like a complete idiot.
I don't remember you looking like a rooster.
But it was actually really cool. It was blonde first. Like, I had long hair. The tips were blonde, and then they had like gold streaks running up into my head, and then she did it red. But yeah, it was something.
So somebody said your weirdness makes you unique, but not necessarily special. And that's spot on right there. So your weirdness can be your superpower. So fitting in pays off in school, standing out pays off in the real world. However, fitting in means that your life is run by opinions. And another interesting fact is kids who act out and disrupt classes tend to be more successful in real life. They've done a 20-year study on that one. So,
wow.
Because they challenge the norms.
No, isn't that crazy?
A little bit. So,
isn't that crazy?
That's just something to think about. So when your kid's acting out in school, maybe don't be so hard on them.
That's amazing.
So for the first time in history, more people are dying from obesity than starvation. And personally, I think it could be something happening, both things happening at the same time. So if this is something, and this is exclusive to America, I think, or probably, because we have so much processed food here and GMO food. A lot of that food is banned in other countries. If you're living on a diet that's a lot of processed food, you're not getting the nutrition that your body craves. So your body is still sending hunger signals, asking for more food. So you could be eating and eating and eating, but not getting the nutrition you want, but you're still getting all the calories.
Wow.
So
wow.
This is a theory. So how to work around that is to move to more whole foods. I don't mean like whole paycheck. I mean move to whole foods and stay away from the processed food. And your body will start picking up again on that shut off of I'm getting the nutrition. I don't need to eat so much.
You know what? I believe that 100% because, when I actually like started going on just more Whole Foods, and of course not Whole Foods, the grocery store, Whole Foods,
nobody can afford that place.
The description of but no, it's very, very interesting just how quick my body changed. It just literally, like, I shed weight in places I was trying to lose, and it was like within a couple days. I couldn't believe it. And no, you are 100% correct in my opinion.
Well, I don't know if I'm correct, but that's a theory I've had for a long time.
Yeah, because I am not as hungry. I'm not eating as much. And I think I was getting calories, but not nutrition. And when I started really concentrating on what I was putting in my body, I noticed the amount went down drastically. However, it would be nice to have cheeseburgers every day, and along with some fried chicken and maybe those cookies I made. you know, so that, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I got major heat for not bringing those cookies back from Laurie's place from my friends. So
Yep.
they weren't too happy about them all disappearing in one location.
Yes, for those of you that don't know, at April's Christmas party, of which I was invited, I never go anywhere empty-handed. So I made these cookies, and they are oatmeal cherries and
With white chocolate.
White chocolate chips and a white chocolate Lindt bar chopped up into little pieces and mixed around. And let me tell you something. If you tried one, you know what I'm talking about. And I don't brag about much, but there are a few people in this very chat right now listening to the show that were there and had some. And now I'm not going to be good. Maybe the occasional grilled cheese, you know, in the spring or summer or something like that. But because I make a decent grilled cheese. But you know, the cookies are number one. And Lori, you just asked if you can make the cookies healthy. They're very healthy. I use only top quality ingredients.
There's oatmeal in them.
You got some chocolate in it, you know, some white chocolate. But cherries, who doesn't love cherries? It's a nutrient. It's it's a fruit, right? There's fiber in cherries, I believe.
Yes.
You do have oatmeal, which is fiber. Eggs, you know, got to have eggs.
Yep.
And you know, there's a little bit of brown sugar and things like that, but it's all mixed together. I think they're really something. But again, that's the only thing I can make aside from maybe the occasional grilled cheese and stuff. But no, the cookies. That's my one funny bank every time.
That was a good bank. It was a good thing. Yeah. It's one of your unique superpowers are those cookies.
But you know what? Let me use that as an example. And I'll this is funny, right? We're tying this all in. Before, when I would make those cookies, I would have between probably 4 and 6 of them. And these are not small cookies, people. They're like about that, but they're thick. They're chocked full of goodness. And,
that's what she said.
Yeah. But now, like when I was kind of getting more nutrients in, I remember I had like 1.5, and I was going, "Ooh, that's enough." So it's funny how like with your theory on how that works, I would absolutely agree with that. So
yeah, it's true. With your cookies, I could eat one. With a box of some bullshit cookies, I could probably eat the entire row.
Yeah, but no, what I'm saying though is like nutrient wise, like I've been eating better, so like I don't have the stomach to eat 4 to 6 cookies.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Your stomach shrinks after a while. Your stomach shrinks.
Yeah, and I'm feeling better. I think I'm looking better. You know what? I'm healthier.
Okay.
So yeah.
Good for you. So there's that. It's just something to think about. Somebody asked, and I don't know the name, Capul and Weber. It said, back when you were bodybuilding, April, how strict was your diet? Looking back at your competition, you were ripped. And what's your secret now to keeping in good shape? Oh boy. So when I was competing, my diet was really strict. I ate every 2.5 hours. I had a small meal. It was about 4 ounces of protein, a half of a sweet potato or a couple ounces of brown rice, a little bit of vegetables, and 4 or 5 almonds. And by the time I got done eating that, I was already looking forward to my next meal. So fitness competitions and bodybuilding competitions aren't for everyone. I think they're not for me. A lot of people do really well with them and they can do that. I can't. I don't like that diet. I freaking love food. I love cooking food. I love trying new foods. I'm all about food. So I have taken the French or the European approach to eating, where I just eat, honestly, whatever the shit I want. I just eat a whole lot less of it. So instead of depriving myself, this is how I stay in shape now, is I tend to stick to protein all day long. And then at night I have whatever I want for dinner, like whatever I want. So that's how.
Yeah.
So how do you stay in shape, Aaron?
Well, I'm getting in shape. I mean, if we're being honest, because you know what, when I grew up, my friend Matt and I, there was this thing called mass quantities, which is like we would sit down And, because I wasn't a drinker in high school. I was not partying. I was like either doing martial arts or training for wrestling my last 2 years of high school. So like I wasn't, just like a typical high school student, right? So I guess I didn't fit in, as you would say. And at Kowalski's, and it's like, you're 16, 17. I was big for my age, but compared to grown men, I was a 16 or 17-year-old. And so like I had to eat and get big quick. And so I'm going, and I was eating, and then my friend Matt ate a big, had a big appetite, let's say. And the two of us, man, we would demolish things. I mean, 2 large pizzas gone. Just massive, like the Chinese food we ate. Oh my God, this one place in Webster called the Kaluna.
Oh, the Kaluna?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Calhoun's.
No. Calhoun's was in Saugus. This was in Webster.
Yeah.
Calhoun's, Saugus is the nice, Boston area. This is out in the sticks, but it was a good place. And we just demolished food from that place. It was embarrassing. The sandwiches that we're eating. I mean, what we used to do is after Christmas. This is no lie. So it would have been like maybe like between Christmas and New Year's, or right after New Year's. When you have that like overfill of holiday stuff.
Yep. Everybody goes on a cleanse.
A little bit, yeah. The two of us would sit down, usually joined by his brother, who was, had a consumption level of Jabba the Hutt. Who would just but no sell it. Matt and I at least admitted what we were doing was borderline embarrassing even back then. But we would clean out, like we would eat all remaining food.
Oh, like I'm gonna do you guys a favor, so I'm gonna clean this out, kind of
the
thing.
Hillshire Farm summer sausages, any other like auxiliary cookies that were left over, or crackers or things like that, any other odds and ends, and we would just demolish it all day, like the whole day be dedicated, and then we'd go to my parents' house and do the same thing. And
how very generous of you.
But the thing is, the parents loved it because
you just get rid of it, take it.
The boys will be over, yes.
Yeah.
And then, but we would just consume. I mean, everything, and it's quite a lot.
That's what I used to tell people all the time. I would do their diets for them, and I used to tell them all the time. I'm like, okay, so first thing you have to do is decide you're going to do this. The second thing you need to do is clean out your cabinets and your refrigerator right now and get rid of all that shit. And then we start.
And like the thing is too, like, because I have this is a probably a secret, but it won't be now. I have zero discipline, ladies and gentlemen. And when I say zero discipline, I'm not lying.
No, he's not lying. Actually, not even a little bit.
How I survived in the world as long as I have, it's quite a mystery to even me. How with like it's not that I don't have discipline. I have anti-discipline. Like, I want to make the wrong choice all the time. And I know it's not good, but like, I love food. Okay. I like McDonald's drive-through. Hey, I'm there. Like when I was back home a couple years ago, Uncle Mike and I would drive through the center town. Every time we passed McDonald's, we stopped. And I'm not kidding. We'd get 3 cheeseburgers each. And Uncle Mike and us, we do that twice a day. And just, but the Chinese food, like I really don't have good discipline. So I've been helping. April's been helping too. In terms of like the choices I make, and it's way better, I will say. And it's just kind of keeping everything smaller portions and never let yourself get hungry.
That's key right there. Never ever let yourself get hungry. I would say carry purse food. Always have like a granola bar with you, or a beef jerky, or a meat stick, or some dried fruit or something. Always have that with you in case of emergency, like you're stuck in traffic.
Yeah.
Never let yourself get hungry. That's when you screw everything up. So
yes.
So,
it's so true, and that has helped me more than anything else. Is just like, again, don't let yourself get hungry, but don't be a mother trucking pig either, because the way I grew up, like if you went to my family's house for Christmas or Thanksgiving or a Sunday, there is a plethora of desserts, like for Christmas and like Easter and things like that. There is a table, an entire table, and I'm not talking about a little card table, like another full table dedicated to only desserts.
That sounds amazing.
And then there's another table, dedicated to the meal, and then there's the other like side things in the kitchen. It's horrible how everyone eats. But if you look at my family, the majority of them, they're just not people who look like they exercise.
Well, speaking of that, I wanted to talk about something sneaky that I saw that I thought was very admirable on Emily in Paris. But before that, hey, John, I see you in there. Yeah, I think beef jerky is healthy. I mean, for some people, not for everyone. I mean, do you think beef jerky is healthy? I think some people can eat it.
I mean, you know what? It would be like an individual thing, right? I mean, there may be some people that beef jerky doesn't agree with them or gives them the wins or something like that. But then there may be other people that that love.
Funny that you mentioned that.
Yeah.
No, some people, don't agree with the sodium or it's not easy on their system. For some people, it gives them the wins.
Yep.
I'm just, Yep. So there you go.
Yep.
So if you've watched the very, very popular chick show Emily in Paris on Netflix, which I'm going to assume those of you with a penis probably have not, or unless you've been forced to by your significant other. But the first season was very cute. It's light. It's a great escape. The second season is back with a vengeance. And the protagonist, Emily, works at an ad agency in Paris. She's an American in Paris, and she's having a questionable time fitting in the Parisian way. So Peloton, the American exercise equipment, they do the bikes and they do all that stuff, which coincidentally, their stocks have dropped tremendously lately since people have kind of gotten out of quarantine. So they were doing pretty good with stocks. Apparently, I think they basically bought an episode. So they had an entire episode dedicated to their workout equipment. So their bikes were featured front and center in the episode, where Emily was hired to try and sell fitness equipment to the French. It was a very humorous, entertaining episode where ultimately the French kept telling her, French people don't work out. We ride real bikes. We walk on the sidewalk. We take the stairs. We don't work out. So then the Peloton bike disappears, and the head of the agency ended up taking it and putting it in her apartment and getting on there and loving her workout so she could set it up. And I thought, oh my God, that was a brilliant way to do an ad without doing an ad. So I don't know, the use of product placement within a television show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Fred goes, 2 people died while riding them or just finishing. How that's Peloton's fault, I don't know. Is that why the stock dropped? Wait, what? How do you die while riding a stationary bike? Wait, I shouldn't even ask that. Seeing the mentality of people these days, I should just be like, oh, of course they did. Of course they did.
Yep. There are people out there that could trip lying down, I swear.
Yeah, well, that's probably me too, but yeah. Wow. Just wow.
Yep.
Okay. So there's that. It's a shame that stock has to go down because of that. Treadmills.
Yeah, excellent call, Colin.
Okay. Oh, I can see how you can fall off a treadmill. I've fallen off a treadmill several times. And then you look around real quick to see if anybody's watching. And then you get up like you meant to do it.
Do the look around. So there was one time that I was, speaking of getting the wins.
Who, you? No.
I was at the gym and I was doing skull crushers, which are you lay down, you take the bar and you go like this and you extend it and it works your triceps. And I was laying down on the bench, but I had my legs up. They weren't resting on the ground. I had my legs up like if I was doing a sit-up. And, you use your imagination what happened. But the problem was is that I thought it was not going to make a sound. And there was a lady that was the way the gym was seated who was like facing me less than 6 feet doing a chest press, a seated chest press machine like this, where she was sitting down. And I don't know if it was heard, but I can guarantee you 100% that that people knew about it. And I remember I got so embarrassed that I walked out of the gym because there was no way. And the thing is, I was about
and you never came back in that time slot ever again, right?
It was a while to be realistic. It was like, yeah, I think it was like the winter time before I ever came back. Like it was.
Was she a good looking lady?
No, but I live in a small town, and like when I got on the bench, I didn't see her there, and I'm worried doing my thing, and it happened. I'm like, oh, that's fine, but then I'm like, yeah, I don't think she heard it because she was still going like this on the machine, and but it was bad. I just discovered whey protein at the time, and I walked out and I was embarrassed.
You do the test fart and you've realized it failed when it hits above a certain temperature.
The thing is, but there's a family, I think a genetic fault or something in the family, because when I remember this is a true story. When we would go on vacation, I'm talking my family, we roll like 40 or 50 deep. Like when we go on vacation, we all go on vacation. There's the cousins, everyone. And we would be kids standing in line to go to a ride. And then my Uncle Mike would come up and he would do what he does. And you would just see the people in line go, and the line would dissipate. And we would walk to the front because we'd weathered the storm. Yeah. And it would have, honestly.
You have immunity.
And no, it still sucked, but people couldn't stand in line. And then one time he did it, and it was on this ride, and it was called a Matterhorn, which is one of those carts that you go in and you just keep going around and around, and the cart like swings, and it's kind of a fun ride. But I remember he was my sister was a little girl, so Uncle Mike was in the cart with her, but he ripped one and actually started like going and the person that goes around and checks the safety, like they were a couple cars behind us, and when they went to go check it, like he didn't even get to him because he just stopped and like didn't check him. And every time we would drive around the area where he did it, you would smell it. It was like I have so many stories like this. And I'm sorry I'm sharing them on the air, but like it was
my got crop dusted.
Yeah. My family's horrible. Like, and Thanksgiving's the worst at my family because we all the men in the family go to this little like the den, which is downstairs, which is it's a TV and all Uncle Mike's hunting trophies and his guns and everything. And the next day after Thanksgiving, they said it always like it the next day you can tell what went on there. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
I heard you died.
I'm sorry if that was too much. But,
no, I don't think so. I think everybody here can relate to it.
Like people want to know the real me. There you go.
All of us. We've all been there, and our families have too.
What? No, you know what? I think my Uncle Rick went to do that and burned his ass once. I'm not lying. You can't.
Actually, no, I think you told me about that. You told me about that.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of going to do that and burning your ass, we said in the beginning, what do you do if someone has a fetish that you are not into? So, and last week we did cover this one. There was a girl that was selling. There was a girl that was selling farts in a jar, which people were buying. Now I can see where that would be a wonderful Christmas gift for like your boss or something, but apparently some people were buying them and enjoying them. So somebody brought the topic up in the middle of that is how do you deal? We talked about how you should approach your partner in talking about things that you want to try. And someone brought up a really valid point that said, how do you deal with it when your partner has a fetish that you're not into or it grosses you out or you're just like, hell no. So, did you guys have any suggestions on that? Because I did actually look it up, and I'm sure we have opinions here, right? So my theory, because I'm kind of a mediator personality.
Mhm.
My theory is to compromise. So sometimes the things you don't think you're into, like the way they sound, you might try it and it might end up being something you're into.
Yeah.
So my theory is maybe try everything once just to make sure, or if you're really like not super into it, maybe say, well, wait, what? Some girls don't give head. What? Really? Okay. That's awful. You need to find new girls, John. Definitely.
Different
So
strokes.
so what so you can compromise where maybe you're into something and you'll do it with them, and maybe they'll do something for you and you can do a trade-off. Or a lot of times when they're into when you see them into something, even if you're not into it, it's gratifying. So it's kind of like a coffee theory. Like
Hmm.
you're out to dinner and the host says, "Does anybody want coffee?" And nobody says they want coffee. One person will say it, but once you smell the coffee brewing, all of a sudden people are like, "Oh, is there enough for me?" So once the
Mm.
coffee gets brewing and you get going, sometimes you're just like, "Oh, okay, well, I'll have some coffee too." So I always look at fetishes like sushi. The first
Right,
time,
but I think sushi is one. I
well,
think
yeah, oh,
there's
yeah, sushi. I got a lot of weird fetishes like killed sushi,
that's
all
my
that.
contribution to this conversation, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Well, the idea of sushi is disgusting, raw fish, but then you try it and it's amazing. So maybe that can be the approach taken to keeping one's mind open. Aaron, what do you think? And then we can go to professionals who wrote it and had advice on it.
Yeah, I think communication is key, right? Like you got to, in whatever you're doing, and whether it's in the bedroom or in a wrestling ring or any other aspect of life, really, anywhere, like in any workplace that involves you having to interact with other people on some level, communication is key. And I just think that if you don't really express where you're coming from and not only what you want, but like where you are coming from and why you feel this way or whatever, um it can work to your detriment. So I think to have that communication and to say like, look, this is what I'm feeling, this is why I'm feeling it,
Mhm.
right? Does that make sense? Like this is why, this is what is appealing about this to me. Maybe that could help, I guess. I don't know, but then
Yeah, I'll even take it one step further.
or you could
If
just
you
go get help because you're all a bunch of sick weirdos. I'm kidding.
that too. No, you can take it one step further. Ask your partner who wants to
Mhm.
do whatever it is that you are not sure about to send you specific adult videos of what they
Mhm.
like so that you can kind of figure out what it is
Mhm.
they like.
Mhm.
So, in a way, you're taking a class. So, here are opinions shared on others that have dealt with it. Somebody said I had a partner once who was into choking me. At the time, I hadn't really been with anyone else who liked that, so I wasn't used to it. It made me nervous. I didn't like being able to breathe, and like basic human instinct kicked in. I started to panic. Can you blame me? So the first time he did it, I let him for a second, and then I reached up and pulled his hands away. I told him maybe he could hold his wrist down, my wrist down instead. It was a control thing. Try and find a comfortable medium.
Mm.
Before I saw him next, I did a little research on my own as to why guys like choking, and that helped me understand so I could think about it in a way other than danger. I told him it was all right this time, but to please be gentle about it. He was very careful to follow my wishes, and I felt a lot safer and better about it. I'd say try to find a compromise. Is there something you can do that is okay for both of you? Can you adjust what your partner wants to suit you better? Work out a good medium and try to go with it. Just talk openly and honestly about what it is that you want and need.
Mhm.
Um, there were a couple on here that were really good. Someone said, even if it didn't turn me on, I would do it and get enjoyment from her satisfaction. If it was something I wouldn't do, I would say, sorry, I can't.
Yeah, I can see that. That's, yeah.
Someone else said, I hated a lot of things, or thought I did, but when I actually tried them, they ended up making my top 10 list. It's never too late to try something new. And I believe we all have equal rights to get our desires satisfied. So I'll probably try it.
Right.
I like to try everything once, maybe twice, just to make sure.
Don't knock it till you rock it.
Someone said, no, if I'm uncomfortable, I'm just dumping them.
Yeah.
Someone said, I'll consider if it's something I'm willing to give it a try for a partner, because I would want her to at least try for me in the same situation. And then who knows, it might end up being fun.
Yeah.
My girlfriend and I have this problem. I'm into a kink or two that she isn't, and vice versa. We just worked out a simple solution. You do A for me and I'll do B for you.
And we'll see what happens. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, that's an interesting philosophy, though, right? Like, that's just
compromise.
Like give and take, right? It's cool.
So yeah, I think yeah, someone said it would depend on the fetish. If it's causes pain or discomfort, if it's humiliating or dangerous, it's out of the question for me. So it really depends on your comfort level and if where you are mentally, and if you're willing to talk about it. And as Chuck says, sex is supposed to be fun. Nothing is potentially off the table. And yeah, sex is playtime for adults. I think a lot of times we forget this is supposed to be fun. So this is two adults in a sandbox putting little houses together and taking the dolls, and I mean, just an analogy. I probably shouldn't use an analogy, but yeah, this is playtime for adults. So yeah. John says you just made me write the word fetish on a folder at work. Sorry, John.
Well, John, what the hell do you do for a living?
He's getting paid to listen to our podcast.
That's amazing. Wow.
I know. Yeah, feel free to tip us, right? We do an amazing job.
That's cool. Wow. Well, yeah, that's wait a minute. Death by face fitting? What the hell is that? I mean,
that sounds like a like there's always like a good death and a bad death. That sounds like a good death, personally.
You know what? I'd rather go sit on a bench and eat ice cream and watch the birds or something like that.
So anyway, so there is that question. I hope that helped people. Somebody asked a question there. Do you remember the old days of MySpace? Yes, I do, actually. MySpace days were a wonderful time, I think, in a way. I might be remembering things nostalgically and rosy, but that was a time where we had just enough social media to connect, but not too much to where it dominated all our time and energy, and there was so much going on, I guess. So I do remember the MySpace era very fondly.
What was the difference between MySpace and Facebook, really?
Somebody else want to answer that one? MySpace and Facebook.
So with MySpace,
all right. Colin's call. Here we go.
It was more of a coders thing. Like, you know how you could do different things with your page. Like if I wanted, like if you came to my page, I could have it where it played. Yeah, and it was teaching people how to code.
It was.
And that was a big
HTML,
thing, because a lot of people, to do what you wanted to do on MySpace, you had to do like HTML and stuff in your profile, and it would play and do different things like
music.
It would have people would have it where it would like show like it would rain things on their page, or like do little things on their page, or the background would change and things like that. So in terms of Facebook, where you just have this here's your platform, you can post pictures and do these things. With MySpace, it really was like your space.
Then why did Facebook get more popular?
It was the ease of use and all that type of stuff, and money and things like that. Because Aaron, a lot of times they don't want you to learn things for free, right?
Yeah.
And the society, coding is now a big skill that is very important, right? Now, MySpace probably got a lot of people to be coders, right? Like, because you dabbled in it a little bit.
I can code.
Yeah, wow. and I learned just a little bit. I don't really remember it, but I remember having to learn some things because I wanted to do some stuff on my page, right?
Because you want to do something special on your page. You're like, okay, now I have to learn how this works, and you're like,
go Google it and
// HTML, like
So now there, that's like people are learning this free skill. Now we can't have this because now these people are learning a very, very, very useful skill in HTML and all that type of things, and now they took it away. And again, it was probably a lot of things with money too, as April said. Whoever's backing Facebook and whoever's backing MySpace kind of thing. I mean, look, we see it all the time. VHS, Betamax versus VHS. We had HD before HD versus Blu-ray.
I mean,
fun fact: the adult business chooses which way we go with these things, and the adult business chose VHS over Betamax because it was easier for them.
Huh.
So
that's interesting.
And there's a lot of you in here. A lot of my fans are old school MySpace fans. They've been around for that long because we used to talk all the time on MySpace. It was a great place to meet people and have conversations. And you weren't banned for stuff. I don't. I
tell you what, if Zuckerberg and old Tom, they should get into it. They should have a celebrity death match or something like that. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, they should.
That's a show they need to bring back.
Yes,
I think there's been enough time since the original one.
Yeah,
where you have new feuds and things built up where they could do another one.
Oh my God, today that'd be amazing.
It'd be so great.
But like, you know what? What if Tom won the war? Like, is Tom as evil as Zuckerberg? And I'm not saying that Zuckerberg's evil. I'm not. But like,
Zuck would come out with Bill Gates as his henchman. That would be his Bobby Heenan.
Yeah. Or his financial backer.
And then like at the last minute, like Fauci would do a run-in.
Yeah.
Because they'd be like all on the same team, and they'd be like Team Demolition or something. And there's Tom just pummeled on the ground after he actually won the match.
With Neil Young singing the national anthem before the fight.
Yes.
Not available on Spotify, ladies and gentlemen.
Not available. No.
But yeah, that's crazy stuff. But yeah, I just thought MySpace, Facebook, it was all the same crap. And, it's look, you either use it to promote your business or to keep in contact with people you'd like to keep in contact with so you can look at their lives and say, I don't feel so bad about myself. Or when you're young, it's that's funny.
Get the tables.
You slide into people's DMs, people slide into your DMs. It's a way to I'm gonna put this like tastefully without going on Tinder or all these. Well, and then they were before the dating sites, but
MySpace?
People hooked up on MySpace, hooked up on Facebook. That was a big thing, sliding into people's DMs. And it still happens to this day.
Is that what they call it? Sliding into
your DMs, yeah.
Oh.
So that was a big deal. And because to me, I mean, I don't like the people I like. I have their phone number. We text, we call, check in. Facebook has made that a lot easier. I'm not going to lie. But it's also kind of opened the door for people that I really don't care to see or talk to or look, you've got 3 kids. Great. I think that's awesome. Like, I think you're happy, but I don't need you like trying to strike up a conversation and tell me like, oh yeah, my back's hurting and this and that. I'm like, dude, chill out. Like, you can go make believe that we're adults. I am going to live in my little world and the thing is, I'm gonna go off on a tangent here for a second.
Wait, may I say, Facebook has a new friend suggestion for you, and I always joke around and look. It's like they need a meme that it's Facebook has a friend suggestion for you for somebody you used to already fuck and don't ever want to see again. So like that's a thing.
Yes. It's crazy. It's like one of those things where, I believe that we should just, again, like, be honest with each other, right? Use social media.
Oh no, go off on your tangent. I got to hear this.
But no, you know what? I'm going to retract on that.
No, please do.
No, I'm okay. I'm okay.
It was going to be a treat.
That's fine. That's okay. On my account. What? Okay, Aaron, should I close down? No, you should not close down all your accounts. I think War Demon asked the question, should he close down all his accounts? And the answer to that question is no. We should just simply incorporate temperance into what we do with our social media. And in temperance, we exercise it in all areas of life, right? If sometimes it's like, things can get out of whack. Like in a song, you can have too much bass or too much treble, and it doesn't sound right. So I think with life, we need to keep everything in as best of a balance as we can. It's good, I think, to get out of balance if we're, training for a specific event, like an Olympic level athlete needs to be a little bit imbalanced because the majority of their life has to be dedicated towards being the best they can at their sport. This is when it can be used for good. When it's social media and trying to hook up, and I know people that just, they spent their whole lives. Like, again, why would someone want to have a conversation with me and try to make me feel like, oh yeah, we're getting old? Like, speak for your goddamn self. Like, that is not how I roll. Don't know if you've seen my profile pictures. At the very least, I mean, put on a clean shirt. Just take a picture. Like, just what's wrong with you, man? Like, look at you. There's no wonder why you're feeling this way. There's no wonder why you like try to put me in the same category as you. Like, no, you have
high school people. It's
I hate it.
Because we went to school together, and it's like, oh yeah, you get those messages, and it's like, I honestly don't remember jack shit from high school except for like one or two people I hung out with, and it's like, do you remember the time? I'm like, no, I don't remember the time. I don't remember that time at all.
There's a couple people.
I've had a life since then.
Yeah, like there's a couple people, like my good friend Sean. You sat next to him in homeroom. I like talking to him. He's good. I enjoy like that. That's been a positive of social media. But then there's other people, man, that I'm like, Jesus. I mean, dude, go away.
So I have a friend named, well, I won't say. I have a friend, a male friend, and he got a girlfriend, and he came to my birthday party. He's totally cool, awesome guy, great guy. All of a sudden, he disappeared. You know how like you have a friend that gets hooked up with somebody and they disappear? I'm not kidding. He disappeared. He pulled all his social media. He pulled down his Facebook. He pulled down his Instagram. He pulled everything. I said to him, I texted him, I'm like, dude, are you all right? And he's like, yeah, I met this girl and we're really hitting it off. And I thought I should pull my social media because I don't want there to be any temptations. And I was like, what? Like, that's a thing?
Wow.
Like, that's a thing? Like, you can't, like, control yourself enough, or you're dating girls that are so hysterically, like that just seemed so insane right there. And here's the thing. He's a photographer. This is what he does for a living. He needs to be on social media. So I thought to myself, I'm like, there's something not right there. So yeah, does social media make it easier to hook up? Sure, of course, if you want to. But if you want to hook up, you're going to do it anywhere. You could go hook up down when you get gas in your car. I mean, you could do it anywhere. So
you pump gas like lean against the car, hair in the wind, just kind of like hang out there. Yep.
I'm getting some gas today.
Yep.
Oh, we have a friend, Stephanie, that probably gets gas that way. Even knows what I'm talking about. Oh fuck! I hope she's not listening. So anyway, so here we go. Peck Twitch.
Yeah, it's about that time. Wow, look at that! Yep. What a show! It's about that time. Yep. I mean, we've
fight me, Aaron. Fight me. There
as you can see, and you win. There you go. But I am getting better, I will say.
Twitch on Twitch.
Yep, the Twitch. But I am getting a little more bounce.
I'm trying to.
Right, a little more bounce for my ounce.
Yeah, you're getting it. You can see it. And you can see it in a black T-shirt. It's getting there.
Yeah. So yeah. So that's all. But again, thank you all for stopping by. You know, for those of you that have been with us for a year, because it's been a year.
Yeah.
Wow. Congrats. And for those of you that have joined us, thank you so much for joining us. This is really cool. You know, who knows? We're coming up with stuff all the time, and sometimes the discussion is serious, sometimes it's not, but it's always entertaining, and most of the time it's informative. So
hopefully.
There you go. I mean,
hopefully.
What other business do we have to finish up?
That is it. That's it. I just wanted to say thank you. So there's a solid handful of you who have been here since the moment we started. And I wanted to say thank you to you for helping to make this show so much fun. What?
Our friend, workout advice to help flex our chest. April, would you just say that that's a lot of push-ups and things like this? Now, you should always consult your doctor before engaging in any physical activity. So don't, make sure this is okay.
Your doctor's going to send you to go get a vaccine instead of workout.
I would say push-ups.
Don't consult your doctor.
A lot of incline and like the dumbbell pullover. I love. I hate doing them, but it's great for like just being more full. Yeah.
These gimmicks. So, what are these things?
Yeah. Butterflies.
Yes, those.
Yeah.
Those are good. Yeah.
Cool. Good.
Yeah, there you go. Push-ups if you are stuck in the house. Yep. Mm-hmm. So, well, thank you for watching us on the interwebs tonight. We will be back on Tuesday, 7:30. Once again, you can watch all the replays. You can watch all our shows on Patreon, the A Show. And thank you for subscribing and throwing your bits and tipping us. We love it. We appreciate it. We love you and appreciate you. So thank you so much. Aron, you want to take us out?
If you like the show, tell a friend. If you don't, tell an enemy.